All right, welcome back to episode 2 of Two Generations, One Mic. We had a great first episode, a lot of good topics today, both NFL, college football, basketball. Yeah, it's good to be with you, Pat.
Hi, bud. Good to see you. Excited for our episode number 2. This is going to be just awesome. I'm so ready. Got so much stuff. We're going to have a lot of stuff to cram in, I think. Are you ready for today's jersey reveal?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see it.
All right, here we go. We got a Rex Chapman.
That's
That's a
awesome.
good old throwback. He
Yep.
was University of Kentucky for 2 years, 86 to 88. Went to the tournament both years. Made it to the Sweet 16 his second year. That was 1988, and got drafted that year by the Charlotte Hornets. I will say, 1988, one of the first most awesome Final Fours ever. It was actually Arizona's first Final Four that they ever made, by the way. And KU beat Oklahoma in the finals. Danny Manning played on that KU team, which I'm sure a lot of people remember. The awesome thing is that Oklahoma team had three really good players that played in the NBA. Stacey King,
Yep.
Mookie Blaylock was the point guard, and they had Harvey Grant, who was actually Horace Grant's younger brother, which is really
Really?
kind of interesting. Yeah.
That
And
is.
side note for you, bud, Stacey King coached the Skyforce a few years ago. That's the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the G League team that is in Sioux Falls, for a listener that isn't aware of that.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Fun.
How about those for some points for you, bud? That's taking you way back. Way to
Yeah.
go for those of us that watched basketball in the 80s.
Yeah, those or Charlotte Hornets jerseys are so cool.
Oh my God, they're
The
so awesome.
throwbacks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to the the original Toronto Raptors jerseys. Oh, like from your logo last week on your hat. Which
Yes.
nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yep.
that.
That is one of my top 5 sports logos.
That might be my number one. That's a really good one.
Legit number one. What legit number one? I've got a number of jersey reveals that we've got in the coming weeks that I don't know. Someday when we're in a slow week of sports, we've talked about doing best sports calls. We're
Hmm.
going to have to do best team logos. And just like we said in sports, where we're probably going to have to break it down by sport because there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Same with team logos. I think we're probably going to have to break it down by sport because there's so many awesome ones.
Yes, absolutely. All right, hopping into it. It was a big weekend in the NFL. I'll give a shout out to my Panthers. Bryce Young sets the franchise passing record with 448 yards. Panthers now half a game out of the NFC South title with the Buccaneers lost to the Bills. So, I mean, hopefully the Panthers can be in the fight here. They have a tough schedule coming up. They still have the Niners, Rams, and Buccaneers left. Buccaneers twice. So it's going to be a tough end to the year, but hopefully they're able to hang in here.
Oh, absolutely. Ben, I'm excited for you. Uh, for a listener that's not aware, Ben has been a Panthers fan as long as I remember him watching football with me. Okay, so big game this week, Monday Night Football, prime time, national spotlight, playing the Niners. How are you feeling?
It's exciting because it's Christian McCaffrey's first time playing the Panthers since
Ooh.
the trade happened, so that's a big storyline. And then, I mean, every game matters now. We're coming to the close of the season. Like I said, the NFC South is really tight right now between the Buccaneers and Panthers. So every game's a must win at this point.
Oh, totally. It's playoff football.
Yeah. No, hopefully it's a good one because the Niners defense is a little banged up. I mean, same with their offense too, but hopefully they can overcome that and beat the Niners. That would be huge. Let's move on to your Vikings because
Oh, jeez.
it was a tough week. I mean, same old JJ plays awful the first 3 quarters, tries to mount a comeback in the fourth quarter. Actually looks competent in the fourth quarter, but couldn't quite get it done this week. What are your thoughts as a Vikings fan?
No, well, that's a loaded question, Ben, because as a Vikings fan, and if I go back to a number of my fellow Vikings fans, they're going to know what I'm talking about when I say it is so tough being a Vikings fan. And it's nothing new. We're used to it. It
Yeah.
just is the same old thing where we hang around in the season. Maybe you have a little bit of hope, and then maybe they make the playoffs and then get blown out by the Daniel Jones-led New York Giants. Who knows? I mean, it's just always stuff like that. In this particular season, we get 3 quarters of utter debacle play, and it happened to be J.J. McCarthy again this week, and then, like you said, they make a little run, and they were there, Ben. They actually took the lead within 2 minutes, kicked off after scoring, and let the guy run 3 quarters of the field. And
Yeah.
and then all Chicago has to do is kind of mess around with the ball for a minute and do a chip shot field goal, and thank you very much. I'll tell you what, as much as it pains me to say it, the Bears and the way that they have won these fourth quarter games, I forget, you and I were talking the other day, and remind me how many games they have this year where they have been come from behind within 2 minutes or something like that.
Five fourth quarter comebacks, and that leads the NFL.
That's unbelievable, and that's fantastic. I
Yeah.
the Bears are one of those teams that needs to be good or relevant within the NFL.
Just because of their
Um,
history. Yeah.
yes, exactly, totally agree. And it's a tough NFC North right now, and the Vikings are not there. Uh, JJ, I mean, the guy's it's a 10 yard out pattern, and he rifles it like the guy's 60 yards downfield, um, flying it over JJ's head on up and out patterns. It's just sometimes it's just brutal to watch.
Yeah. So let's assume that these last couple weeks, JJ doesn't just absolutely turn it on and looks like the Vikings franchise quarterback. How would you approach the quarterback situation this offseason? Is JJ your guy? Do you go a different route? How would you approach it?
Well, angling that, how do you tell me what you're thinking first, and then I'll see if I agree with you or not.
All right. So if it was me, I think you approach it like the Colts did last offseason. Because if you remember, Anthony Richardson, um, coming off of year two, same thing, inconsistent, battled injuries here and there, just didn't look great. So they brought in a veteran, Daniel Jones, uh, to have a quarterback competition. At least give Anthony Richardson a competition. And Daniel Jones won the job and has been awesome this season. I think the Vikings do the same thing. They bring someone in to prove, like, either make JJ prove it or take the starting job because this Vikings roster is built to win right now. When the line is healthy, it's a good line. You have great weapons, a good running back duo with Mason and Aaron Jones, three good receivers in Jefferson, Addison, and Naylor. You have Hawkinson out there. We've talked about the defense last week. Pretty good defense, and you have Brian Flores, probably the best defensive coordinator. I mean, they are built to win now. So I think you look at the trade market and possible free agents. One name that really intrigues me is there's been rumors that the Cardinals could look to cut or trade Kyler Murray this offseason. If you were to bring in Kyler Murray and have a competition between him and JJ, Kyler Murray on this Vikings team, I think would be super interesting for next year.
That 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 is a very good point. I'm going to take a different stance than you. Uh, J- Although JJ has been part of the Vikings now for a year and a half, he had
Hmm.
that first year where he was completely injured. So this is essentially his rookie year. So, and he's been injured for what was it, three or four games there in the first half of the season. So he still has a lot of play to get under his belt to figure out exactly how to play the position in the NFL. So while I would agree with you on bringing somebody in, I don't know if I would necessarily take the compete position versus a seasoned veteran that would be in there to actually teach him behind the scenes, knowing that JJ is the starter. Now, I know they brought in Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz isn't the guy in my opinion. He's not the guy to do that. I would like to see someone a little more accomplished, but definitely on the downward side of his career that really has some big time game experience that can really teach him some things. I would like to see that.
Like the way teams have brought Flacco in the past 5 years. You're saying like
Yes,
that.
somebody like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Would
Yeah.
you?
I don't know. Either way, I'm I'm just like what I would like to do is jettison the whole thing and draft one of these quarterbacks in the next. It's either in this coming draft or the next draft, as you and I have talked about in years past or in episodes past, and say, uh, let's draft another one and just start over because but but I don't know. I'm arguing against myself now, so I don't know. And the team is built to win right now,
Yeah,
so it's
because I
as you can
feel.
see as a Vikings fan, it's very very frustrating.
Um. So my concern though is drafting. It puts you in the exact same position that you were in with JJ. Is you have a win now roster, and could could a rookie quarterback be great and have like a Jaden Daniels type of year last year, possibly, or you end up in the exact same position that JJ's put you in. So,
Totally. That's always the rub. That's always the rub.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lions lose to the Eagles, Chiefs lose to the Broncos. Both are currently out of the playoff picture as 9 seeds, one in Chiefs in the AFC, Lions in the NFC. Is Do you think, all right, let me frame it this way. Who do you like better to make it into the playoffs?
Between those two,
Chiefs and Lions, both being out of the playoff picture, both were expected to be great this year.
here here's what's hard
Yep.
is I don't like either team. So I hope they both miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't like the Lions because they're in the NFC North, and I'm just absolutely sick and tired of the Chiefs. So and having lived in Colorado for a number of years in my junior high and high school years, I'm a closet Bronco fan. I hate the Chiefs. I hate them. I'm sick of them. So I guess as much as it pains me to say being put on point with the question that you're asking, I would say the Lions. I do like JJ Goff. I think he's a quality person.
Fair.
How about you? What's your thought on that? I mean, it was fun to watch the Broncos win that in the last few minutes. That was great.
It was fun. So, looking at their remaining schedules here, the Lions have the Giants, Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, and Bears left. The
Yeah,
Chiefs have the Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, and Raiders left. So, remaining schedule, one of them doesn't look significantly harder than the other. Both have games left against a couple good teams, a couple not great teams.
yep,
Lions' schedule might be a little tougher, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I trust the Lions a little more. The Chiefs haven't looked great this season,
Yeah,
just in general. Where the
right,
Lions have at least had a stretch where the offense was humming along.
right. Yep, I agree. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about the Cowboys coming off of a big win against one of the worst teams in the league in the Raiders? But have had, as you just said, for other teams, glimpses of brilliance throughout the season and look really, really good. It's obvious they need to score a lot of points on offense to help the defense along. Big game against the Eagles this weekend at home. It's a playoff game now. For every game is a playoff game for Dallas, I think.
Yeah, they basically have to win out to even have a shot here. And I know this win was against the Raiders, which isn't saying a whole lot. But, I mean, the wide receiver duo of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is basically impossible to guard. Both of
Yep.
them look great. And I will say their defense does look better since the Quinnen Williams trade. He does a
Yeah.
great job of just blocking the middle of the field. I mean, Genty had 7 rushing yards
Yeah.
the entire game.
Yeah. Williams had a very strong game.
And they do have their secondary starting to get healthy with Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs back in the lineup. So if their defense can play at least just middle of the pack
Yeah.
compared to beginning of the season where they were probably the second to worst defense with the
Yeah.
Bengals being the worst. I think they have a shot to at least make some noise and get a wild card spot.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
That's
I
where
think
I'm
it's
at.
there.
Yeah.
I'm with you too. I think they could do it. They're going to have to. They're going to have to really play well. They need to win this game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Absolutely need to.
Is
So
it is it at Dallas or Philly?
I stand by. It's at Dallas.
At Dallas. Okay.
At Dallas. Yep.
That helps. Yeah.
Yep. It's an afternoon game too, so that's always kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that the Eagles, I mean, they keep winning. So is the Eagles' play sustainable right now, or is it just a disaster waiting to happen? Because their offense has not been good this year, and everyone knows it the way A.J. Brown talks to the media. So is their defense enough to carry them, or
They keep winning.
they keep winning? Yeah, you
They
can't
keep
argue
winning,
with
and
that.
everyone has counted them out since middle of last year, and they went and won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I've never, well, frankly, I don't really have an emotional opinion on the Eagles either way from a
Mm.
fan standpoint, but I would say I don't know why people keep saying the Eagles aren't this or that because until they get knocked out of the until they get knocked down to where they're not in playoff contention, not in the playoffs, not winning a Super Bowl. I'll continue to believe in them.
Yeah. It is crazy though how the offense looks like a shell of itself compared to last year.
It is
Both the
different.
run game, the pass game, everything.
Yep. But they
Yeah.
keep on winning, and so I don't know. They're a strange team to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's hop over to college football.
Yeah.
So Texas A&M has one
Yep.
of just had one of the big it might have been the biggest comeback in SEC history. 27 points. Um big
I think it
shout
was
out.
second half comeback or something.
Yeah, yeah, so something like that.
Right.
Um Shout out to Marcel Reed. The way he was able to flip his mindset at halftime, because first half had 100 passing yards, 2 interceptions, did not look like the quarterback he's been this season. And then second half alone had over 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. I've never seen a quarterback able to just completely forget about the first half, come out and win a game like that.
Yeah. Other than Frank Reich with the Buffalo Bills on his comeback back in the mid '90s to to let's see, it was the Bills and they beat was it the Tennessee? I forget, but they were down big in the second half and had the largest NFL comeback to end up making it into the Super Bowl. I think it was the NFC Championship game, but we'll get into that some other time. Yes, hell of a comeback.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So since we're on the Texas A&M topic,
Yes.
and this applies to both Texas A&M and Ohio State.
Yep.
So they have not had very strong um, opponents. Texas A&M played Notre Dame, but outside of Notre Dame, what was the SEC stat you told me? Intermediate.
Okay, Ben, this is interesting. They have not beaten an SEC team that has a winning record this year, which I think is wild. You know, they played two teams at the beginning of the season. I don't even know who USU is. And then University of Texas San Antonio. Then they beat Notre Dame, big win.
Yep.
Notre Dame was number 8 then. Then they beat Auburn, who right now is 1-6. Then they beat Mississippi State, 1-6. Then they beat Florida, 2-5. These are their records in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Their SEC records.
Yep.
Arkansas 0-6, LSU 3-4, Missouri. Here's the 500 team, 3-3, and then South Carolina 1-7. So we just last week banged on Ohio State. Do you trust them? Who have they played? For us to be fair, we need to ask that about Texas A&M.
Yeah. Now, I will say to Texas A&M's point, even though South Carolina hasn't been good this year, it's been a disappointing year for them.
Yep.
Being able to have a comeback like that says something about your team. Being able to forget about the first half, come out, and ultimately win the game. So I will say, even though that game's not technically a test, that proved a lot to me. Being able to be down and come back.
I agree. I can't argue that a lot. It's like one of those things in college basketball where a team was undefeated into the last half of the year, and they'll have a loss, and the coach comes out and says that it's actually good. They need to know what it's like to have to battle and lose, so you have that taste in your mouth. I would agree that showing the guts to come back like that is huge, and it's a big thing to tuck under your belt. You don't necessarily want to look and see who it was against that you got down that far.
Yeah.
A 1-7 team or whatever I just said South Carolina was.
Mm-hmm.
But a win's a win. The SEC, one of the toughest NFL or football conferences, between that and the Big Ten and the Big 12,
Yep.
that there is. So, yes, SEC teams, even when they have losing records, are still super duper strong. So, a win is a win in the SEC. I'm sure that's exactly what they're saying, and that is legit and right. But it is interesting to point out that they have not beaten an SEC team with a winning record.
Yeah, that I didn't know that until you told me that, and that is really interesting.
Yeah. And it'll be there. We were just talking about how this is a strange college football weekend this weekend, in that there are a lot of non-conference games where ranked teams are playing not very strong teams. I mean, I think we said Texas A&M is playing Samford.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I mean, a lot of non-conference games out there. One huge game though, Ben, huge. USC travels to Oregon That
Yeah.
I mean that's going to be huge because USC has really interjected itself into the national ranking, the national picture. And USC is 15, Oregon 7. So big. Whoever loses this game, whoever loses this game will have a tough time making the playoffs.
Yes, for sure. No, that is looking at the schedule for this weekend. That is by far the biggest game regarding playoffs and positioning for that. And then, yeah, this weekend is a little bit of a wash, but then we get into rivalry weekend, and
Yeah.
that's going to say a lot because A&M plays Texas, Ohio State obviously plays Michigan, and I mean, Michigan is starting to climb back up the rankings. So, and that game is always just a great game. Probably
It
the best
always is a great game.
football.
Michigan should have lost this game last weekend against
Yes.
Northwestern, which was in Wrigley Field, which was super duper cool. It
Yeah,
was
that was
awesome.
awesome.
It's interesting though, Ben. I don't understand how it's legal to put a field. So they, configured it kind of in a, going from right field back towards the what would be the visitor dugout. I think either way, they had to remove the dugout and the first. I don't know how. I don't remember how many rows, to fit it in the baseball playing
Hmm.
area. And one of the corners of the football field, like back end zone, was a matter of feet, just a few feet from the wall. And I'm like, goodness, if someone goes flying into that wall, I mean, just hits it, let alone, God forbid, goes in, in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised. Either way, bottom line, it was raining where I am all day on Saturday, so I actually watched quite a bit of football, and I watched this game. At the end, Michigan went for it on fourth down. This was before they got the ball for their final march. Went for it on fourth down, and Northwestern busted through the line and actually caused a fumble, picked up the ball. There was approximately 4 minutes left, give or take, and they went 3 and out and had to punt. Brutal. And
Yeah.
then I think Michigan went on an 11-play drive and kicked a field goal. And thank you very much. They were up. Northwestern was up 1 at the time, and so Michigan won by 2. So you're right. It's going to be it'll be a great last weekend. This weekend's kind of crazy. Game to point out for all of the older generation here. So Miami, which actually is what's Miami up to? 13 plays Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech's having a terrible year. Who, by the way, didn't
James Franklin.
James Franklin just got hired by Virginia Tech. So hopefully he's able to rejuvenate that team because they have a great history when Frank Beamer was the coach. And side note, they have one of the most awesome team entrances that there is in college football
I
with
would
Enter
say probably
Sandman.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But Miami plays Michigan or Virginia Tech this weekend. Back in the day, Ben, that used to be a huge game where they would just beat the heck out of each other.
That's awesome. Yeah. Before my time, because I haven't had a good Virginia Tech season in my life.
When Michael Vick was there, Ben, oh my goodness,
I bet that
he
was
was
cool.
he was pretty sick to watch.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
awesome. All right.
All right. Oklahoma beats Alabama. That
Ooh.
was a big statement win for Oklahoma, who's currently fighting to get in the back half of the playoffs here. And Alabama drops to 10. So kind of looking like they're on the outer edge of the playoffs here. Did you have any big takeaways from that game?
Mm. Sorry, that was absolutely poor timing on taking a drink right there. Um, well, I thought for Oklahoma to go into Tuscaloosa and win that game is massive. That's 2 wins in a row by Oklahoma against Alabama. Um,
Yeah.
does that put Kalen DeBoer on the hot seat?
It It might, because it feels like whenever a big game like this rolls around, he he not only loses, but they are just they don't look good in these games.
No. And if you remember last year, I don't have the score in front of me, but Oklahoma, when Oklahoma beat them in Oklahoma last year in Norman, it was a rear end kicking. I mean, they smoked Alabama.
Yeah.
And this year was a close game, but still
It
Oklahoma
was
goes into Tuscaloosa and wins.
it was 23-21 Oklahoma, but
Yep.
if you watch the game, it did not feel that close.
I would agree. I would agree.
It felt like Oklahoma played way more physical and just had their number.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Uh, Notre Dame moved. So Oklahoma was number 4 and
Hmm.
drops down to 10. So of course there's the shift up a little
Alabama.
bit. Or Alabama, excuse me, Alabama
Yeah.
and Oklahoma actually jumps into the top 10 from number 11 the week prior. So Notre Dame is 9, okay, and Miami is 13. Yet Miami beat Notre Dame earlier in the season. How do you feel about that?
I am completely okay with it because yes, Miami beat Notre Dame. That it's a fact. It is what it is. But one game shouldn't define your season. Notre Dame now, compared to the beginning of the season, looks like a way better football team, and they've really smoothed out whatever issues they were having. Now, and they're both two-loss teams. Notre Dame's second loss was to A&M, who's the 3 seed, a great team. And you go to both of Miami's losses, they were bad losses to unranked teams where they played horrible. So, and that was the first game of the season where Miami beat Notre Dame. I think you have to look at the season altogether. Um, Notre Dame is definitely playing better than Miami right now. I am completely okay with Notre Dame being in the playoffs and Miami out of the playoffs. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. I think if they were to play right now, I don't even frankly think it would be a very close game.
Yeah.
Uh, but listening to the coach of Miami, Chris, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name, Chris Christopho or whatever the heck it is. He came out this week and said, head to head games should make all the difference. Otherwise, why play the game? And I could take both sides to that. I mean,
Hmm.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So you have to put some legitimacy behind what he's saying in that they played the game and Miami beat them. That is on paper. There's no disputing that whatsoever. But there is also something that goes into the eye test, as you said. And right now, Notre Dame looks really tough.
Yeah. I I agree. You have to look at it, but also, what if that was the one game Miami won this season and they lost every other game? I mean, then it doesn't matter. So,
No, it doesn't. But I think the point is right now
yeah.
they have the exact same record.
Yeah. They have the exact same record, but I mean, Miami losing to 2 unranked teams, whereas Notre Dame's loss were to a number 3 seed, and Miami at the time was number 2, I believe.
Yep.
So those, and both games were right around 10 points ish. So not
Well,
blowouts.
the Texas A&M game was 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Both within single digits. So
Yep. Yep.
they were right there both games. Yeah. Whereas Miami gets stomped by these unranked teams.
Stop.
Yeah.
I love it. I
All
love
right.
it. Awesome.
Moving over
Oh, let me
to.
ask you one more quick
Yes.
college football question to you, to lob something to you. Since you have a dog in the fight, Arizona State game at the end of the season?
Uh,
It's going to be a tough game.
well, Sam Levitt, Arizona State's quarterback, he,
He's still playing, but he said that he's probably going to enter the portal.
yeah,
But I
okay,
don't think he's leaving the team. I did not see that he's leaving the team.
okay.
Like like right now.
I mean, if he plays that game, I think it's going to be a good fight, but Arizona State's probably going to be the favorite. But Arizona's been playing good football recently. If he doesn't play,
Very,
though, I'm taking Arizona. Yeah.
very. I watched the entire Arizona Cincinnati game this last weekend, and Arizona looked really tough. You know, Cincinnati's a tough football team. They're
Yeah.
tough.
And they were
Yeah,
25 at the time of that game. Yeah.
exactly. And Arizona went in there and played really, really well. Awesome football game. Came down to the last part of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Arizona looks awesome. I mean, and it's great. I'm excited for you to see it. Ben was there in the fall of 21 when they won one game, and the reason that they won that one game was because half of Berkeley's team was out because of COVID. That's the
The
only
entire team.
reason.
Yeah.
They're the entire team, and so and then they hire Fish, who gets you up to the 16th ranked team your junior year.
13th. And we beat Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, right. Was that your junior year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then goes the domino effect where Kalen DeBoer was at Washington. He gets hired at Alabama, and then Washington steals Fish, and you got the coach from San Jose State,
Yep.
and Pat, your senior year was a little bit of a down year. So
4
you
wins.
had a major roller coaster when you were there. So I'm excited for you to see the team playing really, really well.
It is cool. Yeah. Especially after the down year we had last year, seeing this coach being able to turn it around a little bit this year.
Yeah,
Good for the
I'm
future.
excited for you. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you. So I wanted to throw out a shout out to you there.
Appreciate that. All right, hopping over to the NBA now.
Yep.
So LeBron made his debut last night, and
Yes.
for the
Yes.
listeners out there, I am the probably one of the biggest LeBron fans in the world. So that was really cool to see. And a lot of people had questions because the Lakers this season, even without LeBron, have been awesome. The chemistry's great. Luka's having an MVP type of year. Austin Reeves is great. So people were concerned about LeBron coming in and messing up the chemistry. LeBron played 29 minutes last night, had 11 points and 12 assists. Just looked like he fit right in, and he let Austin and Luka do their thing. I think people forget that yes, LeBron is the leading scorer of all time, but his playmaking and IQ is probably even better than his scoring ability. So the way he was able to feed Luka, Austin, and DeAndre Ayton, I loved what I saw out there.
I would agree. I think that I've seen some of the highlights. I didn't see any of the game live.
Hmm.
Uh, he played a super unselfish game. Didn't need to take it over. They looked tough. They looked tough. I would agree.
Yeah. If
How do you
LeBron,
feel about the Lakers black jerseys?
oh, love them.
Do you?
Yeah, I think they're, especially compared to like, because their past couple City Edition jerseys have been black. Like last year, it was like a black to purple gradient situation where it said Lake Show across the front. I think these are way better, just solid black, um, not as crazy like some of these City Edition jerseys. I think
Right.
they're cool.
With purple and gold trim. Yeah.
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 Um, So, looking at the Mavericks quick. So, it was reported this week that over the next 2 months, since Nico Harrison got fired finally, um, that Anthony Davis and the Mavericks might look at trades here over the next 2 months. And a little fun fact for you. So, Cooper Flag, obviously number one pick, Mavericks, has now played more minutes as a Maverick than Anthony Davis has.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
With the way Anthony Davis has been hurt, comes into camp looking slightly out of shape, um, how how do I frame this question? How much worse does that make the Luka trade look?
Well, I'll be honest. I've never been a huge Davis fan from for his entire career.
Hmm.
Nothing against him personally. I just have not been a big Davis guy, and so I didn't think it was a great trade. Obviously, from the beginning, I'm very happy for you and the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean that's fun, and it's fun to have Luka, there, and it's going to be fun to see what he brings to the Lakers going forward. It makes the trade look awful. It
Hmm.
makes the trade look awful, and that's why he was fired. It's not anything new. Davis being injured. I mean, he gets
No.
injured all the time,
Yeah.
and he is on the downward half of his career.
Hmm.
But he was injured a lot in his days at New Orleans. Um, First part for all of his seasons at the Lakers. I mean, anytime he hit the deck, I would be wondering if he's going to get back up. I mean, so anyway, I'm with you in that I don't think it was a great trade from the Maverick standpoint.
Yeah. No, it is crazy the way Nico Harrison uh, just messed that whole thing up.
Think if the
Uh,
Mavericks didn't get the first pick of the draft.
oh, it would have been even worse.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And would anyone even be watching the team now?
No, and this season, I mean, obviously Kyrie, he'll be out for most of this year, maybe comes back in March. So, but they were supposed to be somewhat competitive with Flag and Anthony Davis and Lively and a couple other guys, but they've had injuries and I want to say they're 3-9 right now, 3-10. So it's just been a bad season for them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Looking at the NCAA, couple fun games this past week. Last night in the State Farm Classic, Michigan State upset Kentucky, and Duke beat Kansas, which Darren Peterson, Kansas's main guy, was out. So not a huge game. Duke won by 12. Tonight, though, the exciting game. Arizona plays UConn. That is the 3 versus 4, so that should be a good one. But
Yeah.
the point I want to get into is I saw an interesting stat yesterday. There hasn't been an unranked team that's beat a ranked team yet this season.
Yeah.
So, with NIL and the transfer portal, are we looking at the end of Cinderella runs?
Well, I think that is very interesting and awesome insight by you because in years past it wasn't too many years ago, like I'm talking less than a handful, where ton there was multiple college basketball upsets every week,
Yeah.
where that top five was just a constant rotation.
Hmm.
And it wasn't too long ago that like George Mason had their run into the Final Four, and George Mason was, I mean, wasn't on anybody's radar prior to the tournament. And fun upsets. Uh, finally had the 16 seed beat the 1 seed. When Virginia lost a few years ago. But then you brought up a great point to me the other day where you said, "Hey, by the way, last NCAA tournament last year, all four number one teams were the Final Four teams."
Mm-hmm.
And I am a fan. Although you want the tournament to sift out the best team, so that the best team wins. Uh, Upsets are always fun, and that's been what the NCAA tournament is built around. For us as a family, being in South Dakota and having South Dakota State and USD, University of South Dakota, they've really kind of turned into feeder schools, both for football and basketball. You brought up the point the other day of Shireman and
Zeke Mayo.
Mayo going to KU and Creighton. So it's an interesting observation that you made, and I would be sad if that were the case.
Yeah. Well, and even when we've gone to the Summit League tournament in the past, like when we watched SDSU play Oral Roberts in the championship, and that's when Oral Roberts had Max Abmas, and they won, and then they made it to, it was either Sweet 16 or Elite 8 that year. I mean, having watched that in Summer League or Summit League and like a small school like that, that was really cool. But then the transfer portal became a thing. He left for Texas, and I mean, no one's heard from Oral Roberts since. So
Right.
it is just hard for these smaller schools now.
Yeah. We'll always have them in the tournament, obviously, because of the way that the tournament bracket is made.
Yeah.
And so there will be the chance, and granted, you have the two schools, each school in each bracket only play one game. So if you have an off game, which every team does throughout a season, if you have
Hmm.
an off game, you could potentially lose. That would be it would be tough. It's much tougher now for a smaller school to make a significant run. You used to have, the teams that would win, two games over the first tournament weekend and make it to the Sweet 16. A team will always make a run that has a Wally Zerbiak that will get them through the first weekend of the tournament, 2 wins, get into the Sweet 16 weekend, and most likely bow out. And I don't think we'll lose that. So that'll be fun. Should we actually see George Mason's making it to the Final Four? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you want the best teams there battling it out in the end, really.
Yeah.
You as fun as it is to watch a Cinderella team make it into later rounds, to then just kind of run out of gas and get absolutely boat raced by, a Duke or a North Carolina or a Kansas or something like that. That's no fun. You want you want I as a fan want competitive games.
That come down to the end. Yeah. I
Correct.
agree.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it will be interesting for sure. All right, and then hopping into our last segment, this or that, the way we're going to end every week. So this week we are going to do our favorite fast food spot, but it's burger edition. So fast food spots where it usually revolves around a burger, but also we are encompassing, even though it's burger spot, like the full meal, not just the burger. So you have maybe your burger, your fries, your shake, the whole thing. All
Wow.
right. Yep.
That's tough.
It's getting
You want me to go first?
yeah, you got it.
You want me? I go first. Okay. Um, so this is kind of hard for me because being in Sioux Falls, we don't have what you still consider fast food burgers, but they're beyond McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. In and out, Shake Shack. I very rarely have an opportunity to, have those. Have had them obviously over the years, but they're not my normal go-to, just because I don't have the opportunity to. So I'm basically looking at it as a Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I, when you're talking about the whole package, Ben, I love a Whopper with cheese and Burger King's burger. Excuse me, cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like their fries. I do like their fries. I like McDonald's fries a little bit better, but the burger side outlasts them both. Like we always say when you were a kid, I'm happy with either. Love them
Yeah.
both. They're both very close. But I think I would go Burger King over McDonald's and then put Wendy's down here because McDonald's fries are a little bit better, but I love the Whopper and the cheeseburger that much more than McDonald's cheeseburgers. And I could hammer McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, that surprises me you said Burger King. I thought you were gonna go McDonald's, but that's fun.
It's a curveball coming right at you.
Yeah. Now, me living in a couple more spots, compared to you, I I would have to go Shake Shack. I think the whole meal between I love their burger. I do like they have crinkle cut fries. I love their fries, and their shakes are really good. Um, Compared to In and Out, because there was an In and Out when I was at Arizona, they the burger is very close to Shake Shack's, might even be slightly better, but
Okay.
their fries are just not good. Just
Are they
so
crinkle or straight?
straight. I don't like the way they cook them. There's not enough seasoning on them. In and Out just doesn't have a good fry. So
Okay.
that's what
Okay.
puts Shake Shack over the top for me. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will say to listener, when Ben would come across a Shake Shack when he was in high school and we'd be on vacation somewhere and there was a Shake Shack, that was all he could care about or talk about. If the airport had a Shake Shack, if there's a Shake Shack near our hotel, wherever we were visiting, Ben needed to hammer the Shake Shack. He loved it. He loved it. Now
Yeah.
you've come, as you've gotten healthier, as you've gotten older, it
Mhm.
isn't quite like that. But that doesn't surprise me that you're saying Shake Shack. That doesn't
I do
surprise
love
me.
it. Yeah. I have it occasionally still, and it is so good every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. That is it
awesome.
for episode 2 here. Thank you, everyone who tunes in and has been following us along here as we've started this. Next couple weeks should be fun as we get deeper into basketball season. We have college football conference championship games, playoffs coming up, so it should make for a lot of good content.
It'll be fun. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. It'll be
Yes.
great. I love you, bud.
Love you too.
All right. Thank you.